Did it work? Yeah, it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Says you're live.
Hey, I'm Kevin. I'm from Boston. I'm wicked late for my own show. How you like them apples?
Hey, Mo, you know Kevin's not coming, right? It's just us tonight.
Oh, hold up. You mean they're letting us do the Flagship podcast?
Yes, sir. So hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of PSVG, the only gaming podcast crazy enough to let the OT take over while Kevin's sick. Get well soon, buddy. So it's me, your coach, your host, Dev, and with me tonight first is my brother in arms, none other than Coach Mo. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Really, really excited to be here rocking the Flagship. Wicked.
I can't believe they let us do this. They don't know what they got into.
Bad life choices by the bosses. That's all I'm saying.
It happens. And last but not least, hailing all the way from the Xbox Drive is the insipid ghost himself, Luke Lore. How's it goes, nice, sir?
Hey, it goes well, guys. Thank you for having me on the Flagship show. This is exciting for me.
That's awesome. We are glad to have you, our sponsor of the OT, the Xbox, one half of the Xbox Drive. So it's glad that you're here, man.
I'm glad the paperwork went through. It was a real nail biter getting it in there in time. So I'm glad it went through. A lot of red tape.
Yeah, you know, that's what we do. We get through red tape. That's what the OT does. All right. So how's everybody doing tonight? Have you guys had a good weekend so far?
Just got back from a football game. Just watched the Gators chomp up a little tigerish. So that was fun to enjoy. So otherwise, you know, football, life, video games, new house. There's a pool behind me, pretty jacked. And you guys are in my new gaming area. So if I do a little turn, little camera action for my friends, the sports memorabilia, it's all set up.
That's what's up. What about you, Luke?
Hey, man, it's been a good weekend. A lot of Forza, a lot of driving. I went and visited my parents today. Look at me, I'm just all around family man. You know, that's how I roll. But no, it's been great, man. It's a great weekend.
That's what's up. Same here. I had my mom was over a little bit earlier, and then I've been playing with my kids pretty much all day. So that's been cool. All right. So before we get into the show, got to take a quick second and thank all of our amazing Patreon producers over at patreon.com/makeusbetter. So we have our platinum executive producer, Corey Hicks. You can find him at twitch.tv/chicks_18, Pepperjack Cheese. And our gold executive producers, Mr. Mark Moody, Serena Williams, Edwin Callow, Josh Barboni, Mike BC, and Panache Malloy. Our executive producers are Sean Capri, myself, Devin Tyus, Kyle Heyman, Brendan Myers, Tony Hutchinson, Donnie Reese, Michelle Obama, Stephen Ifrade, Carol Underwood, Dante Bellini Jr., Kevin Austin, Tammy Ryan, Robert Miller, Tim Alf, and David Ray. Just want to thank each and every one of you for supporting us. Want to thank all of our listeners because without you, there is no PSVG, no Nintendo Shack, no MUB, none of that. So just want to say thank you guys for all of that. Just to share out some news, the Nintendo Shack actually has its own feed right now, thanks to our wonderful Patreon subscribers. And if you're interested in supporting us, you can just tune into Nintendo Nostalgia, Warp Whistle, all the Sean Capri stuff, and just give us a look up at patreon.com/makeusbetter and find all of our lovely content right there. So with all that stuff out of the way, let's talk about What You Plan, brought to us by our brothers in arms at Fluxpost. So if Kevin were here, which he's not,
you want me to do how he sounds?
I'm not even gonna try.
Okay, I got it. Hey, it's me, Kevin. I'm wicked excited to talk about Prey. It's the best game ever. I love it so much. And then I played Undertale, which is just like Prey, only not the same. Wicked. Let's go.
Wow. Kevin, thank you for that. We appreciate it. I guess he was also playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and he's not going back to that. Other than that, he's lost to Forza like everyone else.
As he should be.
This is what I hear. I've only seen what the game looks like in screenshots that have been shared by people, and it looks awesome. Mm-hmm. I finally actually booted up my Xbox and downloaded it, but I have yet to play it because my kids have taken over the living room TV where the Xbox is. Mm-hmm. But I do plan on getting to that at some point this week.
I play Forza vicariously through watching Luke streams.
That's one way to do it.
It works really well for me. So.
Oh man, that game is so good.
So pretty.
That game is so much fun. And my favorite part is seeing all of our friends' Drivatars show up. So I feel like I'm playing with Coach or Sean Capri or Andrew Gonzalez, and I see their names pop up, and then I call them out like they're there, and I'm like, oh, eat my dust, Brock McLaughlin, who beats me all the time, by the way. His drive tour is way too good. But I call myself the blue shell of Forza, and it is not, it doesn't work. It doesn't translate, even though I really want it to.
So tell me how the drivatar thing works. Is it like they just take their ghost of that race that they were in and you're just against them, or do they just pop into anything you're doing at any point?
Well, you see, the engineers at Xbox have taken all of your Forza experience and they've molded you a personal personality, an avatar, if you will, in Forza. And it has like it actually is kind of cool. I'm being silly, but it takes a lot of the ways that you drive your own car in your own game. And then it will add those attributes to your drivatar. So if you're a more aggressive driver, your drivatar will be more aggressive in other people's games. So it's kind of like a recreation of you. And then, you know, if my drivatar is in Coach's game, it'll theoretically act like me if I were driving with or against Coach. It would probably bump him a lot more because I'm not a very good tactical driver. Whereas if I was a good drifter, my drivatar would drift. That's the idea behind it. But I mean, who knows? Once you take into account the players' like ability levels, and if I turn my difficulty down, what does that mean for my drivatar experiences? But they could just be standard bots, and I wouldn't care because in my mind, it's Coach and it's Brock and it's so many other people from our community, and I feel like I'm racing with people I know, and that somehow makes it more fun, but not invasive. It's neat. It's very cool.
What I love is, like Josh brought it up, my drivatar loves to slam into people because that's the way I race. Like, I love to use other cars to turn. So if it's a straightaway, like my guy looks like he's not doing nothing, but the moment there's a turn, I am trying to hit you to bounce myself into the turn faster. And I love it. And so Josh was saying, yep, Coach slams into you for no reason. I'm like, that's my drivatar, babe. Way to go, big fella.
That's right. That's how you do it. That's blue shelling it up right there.
That is actually pretty awesome. So now I'm going to have to really play this game just so I can show up in people's games and do really weird stuff like drive backwards.
It launched into Game Pass. It's not the first technically AAA game to go into Game Pass, but it's the best critically well-received game to launch straight into Game Pass. So for $10, people can be playing this as much as they want and then get all the other games. That's the coolest thing in the world. I know I'm the Xbox guy, like out here telling you about Xbox, but how cool. I did not buy this game, guys. I just have Game Pass.
I don't think any of them bought it.
I technically did buy it.
Oh, okay.
Remember, the pre-orders that I kept were the ones where you get the free $10 from Best Buy.
Okay.
So those are the only ones I kept, and so there were like 15 of those that I did this summer, and so those are the ones I picked up.
Okay. So outside of Forza that everybody's already playing, what else have you been playing lately, Coach?
So this morning I played Super Bowl number 5 in Dan and Mo's Madden League, where I beat the Tennessee Titans. No, Texans. Sorry, Houston Texans. I just remember there was a T, and smashed them into the ground. Wasn't even fun. Sadly, Dan did not make the Super Bowl again. And I'm not saying it to insult Dan. I'm saying it because he went a different way with his roster. See, he trusted Sam Darnold that he was going to be the future, and Darnold didn't turn out. See, I had Trubisky, and I didn't trust Trubisky. The moment Tua was available, I signed that stud, and he's been taking me to the promised land over and over again. So, guys, can I just say that kid threw more touchdown passes today in real life than he had incompletions.
That's pretty awesome.
11 for 13, 300-plus yards, 4 touchdowns. Whew.
Jeez.
So, I can't wait till he's actually in the game. But, yeah, just a lot of Madden for me. That's been about it.
That's what's up. What about you, Luke?
Oh, it's 2 words, and it's sweet goodness, Hollow Knight. I would never have thought that I would be singing the praises of Hollow Knight. I mean, I love a good platformer. I love a difficult game. I enjoyed and really loved Ori and the Blind Forest, and it's given me all those vibes. But it was this Switch console exclusive for a bit, and I think it was on PC as well. But Hollow Knight is a game that I absolutely recommend to all of you guys. This game is beautiful. It oozes style. It's so much fun, but it's a difficult 2D platformer, Metroidvania, Castleroid type thing. It's super cool. It's really, really fun. Hollow Knight is a great game. And so I'm 10 hours deep, and I've unlocked maybe 15 achievement points, and I don't care. It's so good. It's so good.
That's what's up. Other than that, I've just been playing Destiny too. Forsaken came out, and there's a lot of content. It's just been everything that I would say the Destiny community has wanted from Destiny from jump. They finally have figured out the formula and got it right, and it has just been glorious. I think for like the month that it's been out, every week there was something new to do, like new actual content, new story missions, new dungeons, new strikes. Like everything was populating. Like once somebody completed the raid, it opened up a bunch of new content and also opened up a cycle of like the end game area that has a 3-week cycle. And everybody was wondering because the 3-week cycle came to an end, and this was the reset to the first week. And everybody was wondering, is okay, so is it just going to be like the same exact stuff again?
Mm-hmm.
It is the same story missions again. However, they actually acknowledge the fact that everything went back, like the characters in game. They actually acknowledge the fact that it's gone back to week one. Like the main quest giver, Petra, is like, I don't know what's going on, but everything is the same as it was 3 weeks ago. So there's actually lore reasons for like the Dreaming City, which is the name of the in-game place, actually resetting back to the beginning of this curse that was unleashed once the raid was finished. So I think it's really cool that they found a way to tackle the repetitiveness of Destiny in a way that actually ties into the story and makes sense. So it's just been a lot of fun, and I've been able to just pour into that. And while Donnie keeps telling me to play something new, I'm actually still playing new content in Destiny that I hadn't played before. So I'm loving it.
You'd be really proud of me. My character's up to a 312.
Oh, look at you.
Almost maxed out.
No.
Oh.
No.
Dev, if I've got the Destiny 2 disc on my shelf from vanilla launch, what do I have to pay to play with the updated content like in its full capacity?
It depends on what deals are out, but it'll probably cost you around maybe $40 to $60. Because you're gonna need the way they do it, you're gonna have to get the 2 expansions that came out. So you're gonna need to get Curse of Osiris as well as Warmind before you can actually get Forsaken. They sell them as a bundle, which is like $60 for everything, but I think there's an upgrade where you can pay 40 and get everything. Like a digital upgrade, but that's what you would need to jump into Forsaken. But even if you were to put in the vanilla disc, there's going to be stuff that you can actually do that you weren't able to do previously. So they've still given content over people who haven't actually bought the expansion, but it'll probably run you anywhere between $40 to $60 to actually get everything.
It sounds like a World of Warcraft-esque. I mean, it's not a subscription, but it sounds like it gives you that content drop type thing. Because like I have the game, I can play the game. There's stuff there that's new, but if I expanded it per se, or if I got the expansion or whatnot, I would have even more. It sounds almost like kind of that old school vibe with the new school approach.
Yeah, that's exactly what I always like to liken it to. I mean, their content drops are nowhere near as massive as like a World of Warcraft is, because you'll get the new expansion every like 2 years, and then there's always like you don't get the in-game content right away. Like they do a patch and then another patch and another patch leading up to like the final boss of the game. It doesn't work that way necessarily with World of Warcraft, but they're getting a lot closer to that because with the actual annual pass, you actually get 4 expansions. So you're going to get, right now you have Forsaken, which actually has a ton of content. Then in December, you get one called the Black Armory. And then in the spring, you get, I forgot what it's called, but there's one in the spring, and then there's another one in the summer called Penumbra. So you're going to get 3 more like actual like full content drops with raids and everything in it. So they are taking a much more approach akin to a World of Warcraft without the subscription. So I think it's great.
That's cool.
And Luke, if you ever picked that one up, I still to this day have never done a raid. And it's because I don't have a lot of people on the Xbox who like play to that level anymore. So just saying, if you get it, you have one good person signed in for sure.
Nice. I beat Vault of Glass once in Destiny 1. That's my claim to fame.
Still have not done one. So
once.
That is still like one of the greatest raids. Oh my God, I love Vault of Glass. It's awesome. I do have it on Xbox. One day I'll level up my character. And that if I do that before I actually build the PC, because Destiny on the PC is incredible. So.
If you're lucky, you'll catch up to my guy. I mean, 320, just saying, flex for you.
I mean, if you buy the
what's the level cap right now?
It's 600.
Oh God.
Oh my.
It's almost double where I'm at.
That hurt me to hear. Just for you. That hurt.
Oh man. It's all right.
Yeah.
I beat the main story, so that counts.
I mean, if you just do the story, you're going to be able to get to 500 pretty easily. Like the power increase from
I'm
312
gonna
to
beat it, and you're gonna see me at 400.
Oh man,
And
that'll
you're just
be.
gonna sit there and go, "How? How did you do this?"
Hey, I'll believe it when it happens, because
Deal.
that would also force you to put down Madden. So
That's not happening anytime soon. So.
exactly, that's why I said I believe when it happens. So okay, so let's now get into some news. We're gonna go back into the Wayback Machine story of the week. So this story is one that was actually picked by Kevin specifically for Coach. So EA Sports, the makers of Madden, they're going to have a Madden tournament that's going to be used to raise money for the victims of the Jacksonville shooting. Um, there was the event, the shooting. Actually, there was 11 wounded, 2 people were killed. It was just a really tragic event and something we just did not expect to see happen at a gaming tournament of all places. And Madden, of all things, was probably something that was far from everybody's mind to think there'd actually be a fatal shooting at a gaming tournament. So I think it's great that they're having this event, and it's going to raise money for like the victims. What do you guys think about that?
Actually, I have this marked on my calendar. I'm really excited. I've actually sent money to contribute to it. My wife and I had sat down. We were going to contribute to Make Us Better with a portion of what we made every month. And then this happened in the summer. And so we ended up sending that money over to help out the victims, because it was such just Madden's not a game you expect it to happen at.
Right.
But we live in a world where innocent things can be taken awry and turned into evil things and bad things. And we wanted to do something that the only thing we thought we could do to help. Yeah, I'm very excited to see EA continuing to want to do more for those families. And I'm going to do all I can to celebrate and put some love into it, and hopefully share some positive stuff from it. So,
what about you, Luke? What do you think about this?
I love the idea that the community is rallying. I think too often our gaming community of late has been forced to change its tone and move it away from video games into, for lack of a better term, the far more real world. But one thing that is very consistent about the gaming community is that it's persistent in its efforts to outweigh bad with good. And so you see things like Extra Life every year that gets bigger and promoting people, and people are doing their own streams and charities and things like that. And when the Madden attack happened in Jacksonville, it was just another gut punch in a year of gut punches for our community of a whole. But I mean, they rallied around that. I struggle to think what went through their minds from a marketing standpoint, from a business standpoint, and then in a much more real and more important way, how do you help these people that are now in the wake of this attack? And so I'm very glad they're back on their feet. They're doing something. They had a stream a few weeks ago, kind of in the immediacy of it, because they didn't want to continue with the tournament and have people gathering until they kind of knew the facts of what was going on. But I'm very glad to see them continuing to support this cause and not allowing it to go by the wayside. It's a nice, I think, a healthy reminder of all the immense amount of good our community can create when just a little bit of bad might seem to take headlines initially.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me correct myself. It's actually not EA. It's an independent Madden league called Mudhead that focuses around the Madden
is
team. Yeah. So not directly not directly from EA, but I mean, Mudhead is a huge proponent of the EA community. So
see, I thought Mudhead was related, so that's how come I think I had those two mixed up.
Yeah,
they do some great stuff though.
Yeah, they're like the biggest ones when it comes to like the Ultimate Team and the tournaments and stuff. So I mean, they're not EA, but they are definitely aligned with them, even though they're independent. But it's just great that community is rallying around this and actually doing something for the good of the game and for this cause. I think it's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, and I guess what they normally do with this is in the Wayback Machine. Like, what are your feelings on Madden? Like, we know Madden is your game, Coach, so I'm going to let you go last. Okay. Luke, do you have like any fond experiences or memories of playing Madden? Was it a game that you played when you grew up? Was it something that you still played? Something you hold near and dear to your heart by any chance?
At the risk of alienating myself amongst two football fans on this show right now, no, FIFA and NHL were my games for a long time, and in dorm room, college, it was always FIFA or NHL. Just happened to be what we were all playing. Kind of just per our interests, and the way they played was very similar. Madden was always a bit too technical for me at the time. And I'm not a big football fan. Outstanding of just enjoying it in a casual level. So I hate to say no. Sorry, guys.
It's all good.
You're good. You like what you like, and we're okay with that.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man. Hollow Knight.
For me, Madden was always a game that I played. I think I owned every single Madden since it was just called Madden Football without like numbers or anything. It was just John Madden Football on like Sega Genesis.
Nice.
So I had pretty much every single one of them up until probably Madden 2010 when I started to fall out of Madden. But it's something that is definitely a part of my childhood, a part of my gaming history growing up. It's a game that I've played a ton of. And it's funny that you say it was too technical. Like I felt that way about like FIFA. Like I don't know soccer. So it always felt like it was too technical to play. I didn't know hockey very well, but I really enjoyed the hockey game. So I played a lot of NHL, with NHL 94 being my favorite. But Madden is just one of those games that has always been kind of like comfort food. It's like one of those games that I can always go back to and play. I haven't played a lot of Madden recently, to a lot of people's chagrin, coaches included. But it's just one of those games that I've played so much of, and not playing sports anymore, not playing football and being kind of out of that, I don't have as much desire to play Madden like I did before. Like it's just something that's like, okay, it's cool to have. I'll probably get it when it's on sale, and then it's just always there to play if I want to. But it's not something that I would say I've been big into over the last like 5 or 6 years, honestly. So with that, Coach, take it away.
So I've put in over 200 hours into Madden 19 on the Xbox, another probably 50 or 60 on the PC, and another 30 on the PS4. I do a lot of my tournament money play is on the PS4 because so many people have it, and that's where a lot of the leagues have gone. I love it. I play Madden almost exclusively from August until December, and it's just kind of the way it's always been. I like the chess match of playing with people. It's 3rd and 2, and most people are going to try to run the ball, where in my head, I want to think of, if it was me, what would I do? I would probably go for a slant route or a sluggo, something to move
a call as well. Slant route, sluggo. Yep.
And so that's the way I see the game. And so that's what I love about it, is the fact that it brings so much real football into it. I still to this day think football is the hardest sport to coach as far as X's and O's, because there's so many moving parts. You have 11 people working intricately together, and if one person doesn't do the job, you're in trouble. But at the same time, like I have so much love for the franchise. The first Madden I ever played was on the PC. I remember my uncle sat me down and was like, "Hey, you know how we love the Bears?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "There's a game here where you can jump in, you can play some football, and you can learn this, this, and this." I remember playing it on his computer. That was actually the very first Madden, because the first Madden was on PC. And as it's grown, I have grown to love it with it. I think had I not become a football coach and I had gone straight into basketball, I would eventually have lost interest, because either you are a diehard person who loves it and you can play on all Madden and beat the computer by 70, or you're a casual person who maybe just plays MUT, which is a much easier mode. But my love for sports games in general has continued to grow thanks to Madden. For young FIFA players, like my dude Dev over here, if you don't know how to put a ball through, it's much harder to get past people. So what that means is you're literally leading your guy so he doesn't go off sides to go and get behind a defender to score that goal, so it's one-on-one. Most people don't know that through ball they put in 3 years ago to make it where it's just one button and it will lead your guy for you. That's one of the things I love about FIFA. But on the Madden front, they worked so hard to involve the long shot mode to teach people these skills. What I loved about long shot in the 2018 game was it was teaching people how to read a defense. Hey, this is what single high means. This is what double high means. This is how a cover 4 comes into play. Here's how you read it as a quarterback. This is how you decide whether to run the ball or pass the ball. And it gave that mode to be the training wheels for young football people. I've been laughing my butt off listening to our dude, Donnie and Jason, and them playing Tecmo Bowl. I look at it and I'm like, this is like something I would give to like a kindergartner and say, hey, here's your introduction to football. Like, I could not imagine going back to Tecmo Bowl having played Madden 19. All right, that'd be the same thing as if you go out and you played Legend of Zelda, the Breath of the Wild one that they all loved, and I say, hey, I want you to go play Zelda the original.
I would do that in a heartbeat because that game is still great.
So again, I don't understand what it is you guys like about it. I'm just saying graphically and actual gameplay wise, it's a night and day difference. And so Madden has a special place in my heart, and I'll love it probably for the rest of my life. I'll be 95 years old sitting on my rocker out there in Puerto Rico, living off rice and beans and enjoying life. And I'm going to have my Madden on the Switch finally, hopefully in 60 years we'll have Madden on the Switch. And life will be good. So love it to pieces.
Awesome. All right. So now it's that time to check out the news of the week. So we've got some breaking news right now. Originally, this story, when we had it posted, was actually talking about Telltale laying off more people as the studio continues its downward spiral. But we found out recently that Skybound actually came in and kind of saved the game. I guess they're contracting out some of the employees from Telltale to go ahead and finish it. You were reading about that, Mo, so why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit more about what you were reading?
So from what it looks like is they're going to be picking up some of the employees and hopefully getting them in. It doesn't give us a financial breakdown. My hope is the same thing that Mike Futter, who actually is the one we got the story from, so give him credit over there from Game Informer. But what he's saying is he's hoping this leads to some maybe restitution or severance to go to those other 250 employees or the employees who are not brought on to finish the project was what his hope is. And so what's happening is Skybound is picking it up. They'll be finishing episodes 3, 4, and 5. And then also, I believe Luke was telling us that they only had a couple of things left on 3, a couple of voice lines on 4. So it's 5 that's going to need the main chunk of work. So far, bigger details we don't know, but we do know that they right now have already gotten everything lined up. So they've got the red tape cut. Now they're working on the actual bringing of employees, and it's going to be on Telltale to be more transparent on the rest.
Now that's awesome. That's a feel-good story for the day. I think it's great that somebody was able to come in and just kind of step in and kind of save this game. I haven't played Walking Dead since the first season, and it left a very lasting impression on me. I just never got around to finishing up Walking Dead season 2 or anything like that. But I'm glad that they're actually going to finish out Clem's story, right, and actually give it the care that it needs, and that they're actually getting the Telltale employees who are writing the game. And like you said, hopefully they can do more for, the entirety of the people who were laid off and actually do something for them as well as they're finishing this game. Luke, have you played any of the Walking Dead? Is this a series that you care about?
Oh, absolutely. It's not just The Walking Dead, but it's Telltale in general. I really enjoyed that when I had all right, back in the day, I loved the first season of The Walking Dead. I thought it was great in terms of storytelling, narrative. I thought the engine was very frustrating, and that they didn't update it kind of took its toll on me a bit. But when I had my shoulder surgery 2 years ago, perhaps, I played Borderlands and Walking Dead Season 1 and one other of the Telltale title. It was probably the Batman, the first Batman when they did. And it was very nice because it was very accessible. And that was what I really liked about it. The writing was wonderful. I am hopeful that in this in the wake of this Telltale stuff and with Skybound, who is I think they're an interesting choice. They made Slime Rancher. They're making The Long Dark. They're an interesting choice to pick up Telltale. It's not who I would have put in my top 10 list of people I would have thought would kind of help Telltale recover into finishing The Walking Dead season 5 or season 3, episode 5. I would not have picked them, but I'm glad and I'm hoping that somehow they spin this to where it promotes or helps the rest of those Telltale employees that were affected. I would like to see the real world applications come from this game being completed.
Absolutely. Now, for those of you that don't know, Coach Mo penned a very heartwarming and heartfelt goodbye to Telltale over on psvg.blog. So we're going to let him wax poetic real quick about how he feels about Telltale in the closing.
So what I wanted to add was, again, I own every Telltale game that's come out on the 360, on the PC, and on the Xbox One. I absolutely I've loved the games. I've talked about my love for the Minecraft one. I still think Minecraft Story Mode Season 1 is one of the best games I've played in my life. The storytelling, the way the story leads, the characters, everything about that game, like literally, it's like they made Minecraft matter to me. I did not start playing Minecraft till after I did that, and I'm just very grateful for it. But the thing I wanted to point out is if you follow some of these publishers and these people who are in this, I think there's something that needs to be said or pointed out. I've seen so much stuff going towards the publishers on, hey, you need to finish this, and then things are thrown at the employees. I feel like we as a community need to voice more that these devs deserve to be taken care of. So I'm going to put out there, I'm not going to buy the new one until I know that these devs that were laid off are taken care of in some way, shape, or form. And that breaks my heart as someone who wants to know where Clem ends up. But I'm okay with my ending being season 2 or episode 2. I'm okay with saying goodbye there and knowing that I'm supporting those devs, because I've seen some people who are throwing shade at them. Well, if you loved it, you should have finished it. I don't coach for free, so why should they work for free?
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And at the same point, I see people begging them to tell them the ending, and these guys aren't going to break NDA. They're being so professional, even though they were treated so bad. And so I'm going to support the devs on this. And even if they say, hey, we're going to give you all these episodes and it's the greatest ending you could ever imagine, I will not buy it till I know the devs are taken care of. Till I know those 250 people got a little bit of restitution, a little bit of severance, something to help them. And that's going to kill me. It's going to be super hard because I really do love the Telltale games. They have meant more to me growing as a gamer than anything else. But I'm going to stand firm on that. So I just want to make sure for all of you guys who are out there who love these games, please make sure that these publishers know that our expectation isn't just the game and the story to be finished. It's the people who gave us these worlds are taken care of in this really horrible situation.
And Coach, that's kind of why I wonder why Skybound would be the one to pick it up, because I would not have thought they would have the financial viability to handle the questions that are going to come about what you're talking about. Because if episode 3 is almost done, according to what we read, and then episode 4 just needs VO work, and they have to structure episode 5 and kind of put that together, they're going to have to answer those questions. Those are going to come up. And there's people on that entire gambit of emotions, finish the game all the way to don't care about the game, take care of the people, which is where I land as well. But I would not have thought Skybound to be the one to step in and be willing to PR through that. And so my hope is that they work through and they help the people that are coming out of the wake of Telltale, but also that it shines a light a bit more into the industry about perhaps how to combat this crunch time or distribution of resources to where you don't need to pull long hours for one group early and then let them go and do a different type of coder or programmer later. Because it's happening. I mean, it's happening all the time. Red Dead is a game we're all looking forward to. They're doing the same thing. They're crunching. They're Jason Schreier over at Kotaku was saying things like there were support groups during the initial Red Dead, and Telltale is the most recent one where we're looking in at that crunch culture and how it affects them. But Capcom Vancouver was 2 days prior. No one's talking about it. So I'm hoping this doesn't have a flash pan effect. I would like to see this be a long tail discussion where months from now we're learning from the mistakes they're in.
Yeah. Absolutely. Good stuff. Okay, so this next story kind of hits close to home. I don't know if you guys have seen this story at all, about the antagonist in the Life is Strange Part 2. Kotaku had an article, I think it was on Friday actually, that came out about how the antagonist right now in the Life is Strange Part 2 is racism. It strikes a chord right now just about what's going on right now in America. Some of the things that we are faced with and things that are going on just in real life. And going through just some of the things that have happened in, I guess, the first episode of the series, it just, for me, it hits a very serious chord to where I don't know if I could actually play this game without like getting really, really upset and bothered. But I guess in the beginning of the game, the character you play is a Mexican American. They live up in Washington, and the kid gets into a fight with the neighbor. The neighbor yells, "Go back to your own country," and then it escalates to where I guess the main character pushes the character who yells, "Go back to your own country." He falls, hits his head on a rock, and is pretty badly injured. The father of the Mexican American kid, Sean, walks outside with his hands up, trying to de-escalate the situation. As a cop drives by and pulls out his gun, while you pull out your gun on two kids that are fighting, that are clearly unarmed, would be beyond me. But he pulls out his gun. The father walks out with his hands up, trying to de-escalate the situation, and the father shoots, or the cop shoots the father. And then later on in the game, you have some other subtle, very subtle references where Sean and his younger brother are on the run, and they end up going to like a grocery store or whatnot, or like a little liquor store, and the cashiers are referencing like, you guys aren't from around here, are you? You know. And then there's another scene where they're at a park, and a guy walks over to him, white guy, and it's talking about how you guys don't belong here. Where are you from? What's going on? And no matter what your choice is, whether it's to fight the guy, to run away, or try to explain yourself, no matter what you do, I guess you still end up in his custody as he tries to call the cops on you. For me, I've dealt with all of those issues, like life that has actually happened to me in some shape or form, with the exception of a cop pulling a gun and shooting someone in my presence. But all of the other things I've actually experienced. And so for them to have a game that deals with such real life situations, one, I think is great, and everybody should play this to actually see some of the things that you may not know actually happen to people. And two, playing it would be really difficult for me, as it would probably make me rather angry, because it touches a very, very real place for me. So just with all that being said, what do you guys think about that? I'll let you go first, Luke.
I would like to throw the caveat out that I've not played the first Life is Strange. And so I abstain from the gameplay aspect of Judgment, but I think all three of us have relationships with education. And Dev, I know your wife's a teacher, I believe. Yeah. Coach, I know you're a teacher, and your wife's in education, and I'm a teacher. And I can approach it from that aspect, that I don't want any of my students to ever face any kind of discrimination, whether for their creed, their race, their gender identity, any of that stuff. I don't. Nothing short of their actions should be what they are judged by. And I don't know that I could play this game and not be teary if it's well written and well done. And that's where that's where I can approach it without having played the first one. I don't firsthand know the quality of writing in Life is Strange, but everyone seems to be very on it. I hope that if they are tackling something as intense and serious and relevant as this, particularly given the climates of multiple countries, including the United States, their political climates, I hope that the writing does justice to the issue and allows people to empathize and sympathize both. And I can only hope that it does a good job with such a serious subject matter, because when it's mishandled, the wrong messages can be sent or received. And I want anyone playing it to be able to learn and grow and get better from it. So I love the idea. I hope it's written and executed well from a gameplay perspective, but on the emotional spectrum, that is very intense and difficult.
Absolutely.
I didn't play the first Life is Strange. That's not true. I played about 10 minutes of the first episode and was not a fan. Then I played the second one, which I remember there's something wonky with their chronological order. I think the second one is actually the precursor to the first one.
Yeah, it is. It's a prequel. I forgot what it's called, but it is a prequel.
I really liked that game. The music was good. I thought the storytelling was very good, and the character development I really did enjoy. I had no interest in playing this game until you just shared that story with me. It's one of those things that I currently have students who are homeless, who are going through things where and this is the worst part, they're called students in transition when they don't have a place to sleep. And me and my wife reached out to see if one of them is a football player, and he currently has nowhere to stay. He doesn't know where mom is. He's living on people's couches and sleeping in his car. And we're like, can he come stay with us? And we reached out to the public school system here to find out if he stayed with us, I could no longer coach football. I would have to stop teaching because it's against the rules. And this is due to some people in the past making bad choices or selfish choices, and so it was really heartbreaking for me to not be able to help. I say that as a caveat that these kind of games are the things where we need kids to play it. We need people to see these things in this video game world to, one, enlighten them if it's done properly, like Luke was saying, but two, to give them an understanding that they're going to be responsible for changing this story in the future. I hope that future cops play this game when they're younger and realize that they hold such huge responsibilities on keeping everyone safe, despite what you look like or your affiliation with this group or that group or how you identify. Your job is to serve and protect. And so I'm hoping that we can get more games like this that teach morality and teach this thinking and seeing and being an actual human being. But again, I haven't played it, but I will now. So
I know that'll make Donnie very happy because he's very high on the Life is Strange games. He loves these games, and he really kind of took a soapbox approach. Like, these are really good games, and if we don't start actually buying these games and playing them, like, we won't get stuff like this. Like, the same thing that's happening with Telltale could easily happen to this company as well. I think a lot of it comes from the Netflix approach of games. Like, these are episodic games, and you kind of want to wait and play them all as a whole instead of playing one and waiting forever for the next one. But I think when we do that, instead of getting the whole season up front when it first drops, we end up, costing that studio money, or I'm not gonna say costing them money, but they don't get, the return on investment that they would normally look for. And if this is something that you think that you're interested in, or you have an idea that you might enjoy, you should definitely go out and buy this game and give these developers the money that they need to continue to make stories like this that can actually make differences in people's lives and change the outcome of the future, So with that being said, am I going to get it? I don't know. It's tough to say because, like I said, for me, that is just going to be really hard for me to actually get through, just raising two young children, knowing that these are things that they may or may not face, knowing that I faced it. It's difficult. But if the writing is good and not just out for cheap thrills, then I think it can be something that is definitely life-changing. So we'll see. All right. Moving on to something a little less heavy. So Dance Dance Revolution is a game
less
that we
heavy.
all know.
I know what's coming, everybody. Yeah, that was good. English teacher right here.
Yeah. So Dance Dance Revolution is a game that we all have seen. I'm sure some of us have probably played Dance Dance Revolution, but probably not like this guy. So there was a guy who has lost a ton of weight. He's lost 125 pounds, and he owes it all to playing Dance Dance Revolution. I guess he had always seen the game, was a fan of it, would play it, but the closest one to him was about 30 miles away. And he ended up being overweight to the point where it was life-threatening. But this game was a game that he enjoyed so much that he decided to go ahead and pick one up, and actually he learned some arcade repair. He actually had his own DDR machine, and he has just kept it up and has started losing weight, and as of now is down 125 pounds from playing Dance Dance Revolution. I don't know what everybody would do if they were faced with a life and death situation where your weight can cause you to die, and the steps you would go through to lose that weight and get rid of that obstacle. So I think it's great that this guy was able to find something that was good enough for him, that he enjoyed to the point where it was able to motivate him and play and be able to lose that weight through a video game. I think that is absolutely incredible and wonderful. What do you guys think about DDR? Have either one of you like dabbled in it at all. I know my wife is a huge fan of DDR. Anytime we see one, she wants to play it. Coach?
I've never done the DDR, but I've done the real life DR. So just going to clubs and dancing. I never, shied away from a good going out and dancing night, especially when you're, 6'7" and 350 pounds, and you're able to pick your wife up in the air and hold her up while you're dancing. That's a good time. Everybody gets a good laugh out of that, and I just enjoy. I'll dance almost anywhere. I don't care. Still to this day, one of the things left on my bucket list is doing the cat daddy on the Great Wall of China. And someday I'll get that done before I pass away, and it'll be a great YouTube video. I'll be on the Good Day America show. It'll be great.
Awesome. Luke?
DDR is super cool. I am terrible at it. I have no desire to ever play it. But I do love the idea that gamers who struggle for truly anybody, but specific to gamers, we kind of battle stereotypes kind of unto ourselves about the way we handle, our lifestyles and such. So I love this story. I hope it motivates more people to find ways to enjoy something, a hobby, and then better themselves at the same time. Very, very, I hope this gentleman is very proud. I hope this motivates other people to continue that, and to find ways to be healthy, whatever that means for your body type or mentality. But I think it's awesome. And DDR, it looks insane, and I can't do it. But it's awesome. It's really cool. I'm just really bad at it.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm terrible at DDR. That's one of those things that drives me absolutely nuts. I can't do it. But my wife loves DDR, and so she is always trying to get me to play DDR. I'm just like, I can't do this. I am terrible at trying to follow instructions and actually dance. I'd rather just dance like Coach Mo. Take me to a club.
Play Just Dance, everyone. Y'all heard it.
Exactly.
He play Just Dance. It'll be on the Wii in 2019.
I own Just Dance for the Xbox One. Just saying.
Yeah, I own Just Dance for the PS4 for my wife. Is also her and my daughter love playing that game. I'm terrible at it though.
I love that you have it on the phone now. Like that's so much easier to track. Because my arms be going. I'm not going nuts. I'm enjoying every minute of it. That's just me. My bad.
All right. So moving on to our last story.
Next story. I like it. Very
so
excited.
You're going to have to take this with a grain of salt because it is just rumor mill stuff right now. Nothing has been set in stone. But apparently there is a Batman Arkham Universe game that's going to be announced at XO 18 that is going to be for PC, PS4, Xbox One. It's going to be, I guess, after the Arkham Knight. It's going to have a wonderful cast of characters. We're going to be getting the Tim Drake, Robin, Nightwing, all of these other characters will be in it. And we're going to actually get to finally go back to the Arkhamverse, as they're going to refer to it now. I guess it's also supposed to be the last hurrah for Batman from Rocksteady. I don't know about you guys, but I was a huge fan of Arkham Asylum, Arkham City. I didn't get through all of Arkham Knight because that Batmobile really bothered me. Like I couldn't stand that thing, to be perfectly honest. But I do love the Arkham games. I love the combat. I love being the Dark Knight and the detective stuff and being able to stealth on people and just knock them out. I'm a huge fan of that series, and I'm glad that they're not just letting it go by the wayside, especially after how much everyone loves Spider-Man except for Coach Mo, because Coach Mo hates Spider-Man. After seeing how awesome that game is, we're gonna get some more Batman. I think it's great. So, Luke, how do you feel about some more Arkhamverse?
Well, I have no idea if this. I don't think this story is true. I don't think it is. Just in my cursory stuff, just looking through it. But if it is, I am ecstatic. Arkham Knight is among my favorite games of this generation. I over 1K'd it on Xbox, and I got tons of trophies over on PlayStation. I played it multiple times on both just to do it. Return to Arkham, I went and did those. I loved Arkham Knight, Origins, City, and Asylum. I think they're awesome. I think Arkham Knight's the best superhero game that's ever been made. And I've platinum Spider-Man, so I do have that respect for Spider-Man. It's the second best superhero game ever made. But no, I love the idea. I hope that it exists. I want it to exist. Arkhamverse is special, and there's plenty of room to make things in there, either before Arkham Knight's ending or whatnot. But I want more Arkham. I just don't see the stars aligning for this to be announced at an XO. That doesn't feel like an Xbox announcement or an Xbox conference announcement. It doesn't seem to line up with previous things we've seen. But I would, however I get more Arkham, as long as it's multi-platform and people can enjoy it in multiple places, I'm happy.
Yeah. What about you, Mo? Spider-Man here.
So my first Batman game was the one for the Vita, Blackgate. Is that what that one was called?
We don't
Arkham Origins
we
Blackgate.
don't speak of that one.
All right.
By Roxanne.
So that one wasn't bad. I didn't mind it. I never played Asylum. I never played the City one. And I played about, I want to say like 5 minutes of the Origins one because it came with a statue and I just wanted the statue. I played the Night one and took the Batmobile on top of a building because you could use that little thing and then dove bomb it off on top of a group of bad guys and in my head killed them. And I was like, Batman the murderer. And then I found out they weren't actually dead. They were subdued. Is that right?
That is Batman, so yes.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, well, that ruined it. I thought it was going to be like the Dark Knight. Not the okay. So I stopped playing that one too. I don't have a lot of Batman knowledge.
All right, Coach. The real reason we brought you here tonight is to have an intervention and get you to sit down and recognize that Arkham Asylum is one of the best games ever made, even in the past 2 generations. It's time to do it, and we can argue about Origin City and Night, but you got to play Asylum. This is your intervention today.
Okay.
So,
yes, you have to play it. There are other heroes that are not named Hulk.
Are you sure?
Play as the Batman.
That sounds wrong. I love both of you very much. I'm a big fan of both of you. So I'm willing to look at picking those up and running through them. But yeah, to this day, I'm not far enough into the Batman to know anything. I do know on Injustice 2, I could wreck shop with Harley Quinn. I was really good at setting you up with the hammer, followed by her 2 dogs, that little power move, the hyenas, and then coming through with a big finishing move. And so I could take out a lot of health real quick. Other than that, that's about all I know.
If you play Arkham anything, turn everything else off. Like, don't have podcasts or movies going, and listen to the sounds and the voice acting.
You're telling a person with ADD to not have auxiliary things to help keep me okay. All right, I'll try it once. 3 minutes later, I'll be outside in the pool.
Well, if you do that, get it on PlayStation, and that way you can take your laptop out there and do remote play and continue to play from the pool. Because
I can do that on my Xbox.
You can do that on Xbox too.
Then,
just throw that out there.
Then do it on Xbox.
The Xbox Drive ball.
Then yeah, do it that way. However you got to do it. Like, you need to play through at least Arkham Asylum. I think that game is it is wonderful, and it's
like tops like 20 hours to beat.
I don't know, 20. Yeah,
315.
Yeah.
Well, we were planning. I wanted to help Nate out, so I was planning on doing a sort of Extra Life on Black Friday, and that could just be the thing I do.
That would be a great thing to play through for Extra Life because it's a game that you can actually just definitely go through in a couple of hours.
Okay,
it's a lot of fun. There's backtracking, so if you don't like Metroidvanias, it might kind of bother you, but I think that's one of the best parts of Arkham Asylum is going back after you get certain abilities unlocked and be like, okay, I remember seeing this over here. I've got this weapon now. I can get through this and see what's behind that door. I love that kind of stuff, and it being in the Batman universe and going through Arkham Asylum is sweet. I'll be playing that game again. I have the what is it called? Return to Arkham.
It collects the 2 Rocksteady first outings. But Arkham is one of those games that does a very good job of starting you out strong and making you stronger. You don't feel weak like at the beginning of, say, Metroid, where they strip you of everything. You feel strong to begin with, so you feel like a superhero when you start, which I appreciate.
That is a very, very good point. Because most of these games, like a God of War, for example, the ones on PS3, not the newest ones, you're all super souped up. You got all the abilities, and then they gotta whittle you down to nothing and make you build it all back up. You're absolutely right. The approach that Arkham takes, where you actually still feel super powered, like you are still the Batman and you just acquire even more power, is a much more fun approach to those type of games.
Agree.
Isn't his superpower just being rich? So like he just buys stuff.
No.
I don't know a lot of Batman stuff, guys. I'm just going.
Oh, I thought you were joking. Oh no!
Like, isn't that he has money and they build him stuff and he uses it? Like,
He has the same origin story as Spider-Man. He's just dark with it instead of happy about it.
I mean, Spider-Man actually has powers. I would say he's more like Tony Stark, where yes, he's got money, but he's also really, really intelligent. He also is like trained in martial arts, like to the nth degree. So
by Liam Neeson.
See, that's
incomparable Liam Neeson's.
No, that was great. That was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. Like he was all like, yeah.
He trained the Batman. He gave the Batman his skills.
We're not even going to
go. It's a Key and Peele joke.
I hate that trilogy. Just no.
Oh, Dev.
I'm Batman. That's so good. That's such a good Batman voice.
Oh.
By using that, I could be Batman.
The fire rises, brother. Okay, moving on. So normally, this would be time for Kevin Hates Everything.
Oh, so that means it still is time for Kevin Hates Everything.
Take it away, Mo.
My name's Kevin, and I hate things that aren't wicked awesome like me. So I hate purple people wearing purple on Saturdays, because you should wear purple on Saturdays, because I'm Kevin, I'm from Boston. That's how he sounds in my head. Oh. What we're actually going to do, sorry, Kevin, I'm not trying to be, I am, I think I'm hilarious. So Kevin, what we're actually doing is we're doing a coach is me, that's me, and I love stuff. So we're going to talk about things I love. So then he told me to pause for a bumper. Did it play? Oh, wait, he has to put it in. I do this every time. I thought you were going to do the message for you so earlier and it didn't happen. I felt so stupid. I was like, oh, he forgot. And then I was like, wait, that's not how this works. Because whatever. So things I love. Kev, the thing I love the most right now is that you were willing to let me and Dev do this. The show that gets all the downloads, the one that people actually subscribe to, you let me and him do. And we were smart. We got Luke here. So we got some credible, awesome folks on here. So Kev, I love the fact that you and Bossman Don trusted us, the most unprepared duo on the world, to follow the notes, to actually use the notes, and to do this. So thank you, brother. That's what Coach loves. Second bumper.
I too love that you guys actually let us do this. It was great. And like Skinny Matt said on Twitter, we brought along Luke to class to join up. So
yeah, right.
We got a classy podcast. So that about does it for us here. After this, we are going to record an OT with the other half of the Xbox Drive. So our sponsors will actually both be on the OT. Right now,
so it's they're not a half though. It's the whole of the most powerful podcast. Powerful podcast.
I was saying the addition to the other half combined.
So if you have one half and you put another half together, you have two halves.
Yes, two halves.
And that makes a whole.
Yes. So yes, for real, we're going to wrap it up here. Let you guys do some plugs. So Luke, tell us where we can find you, brother.
You guys can find me on Twitter at MLS Reserves. And if you enjoy streams or streaming, feel free to come see me over on Mixer at mixer.com/insipidghost. That is Insipid Ghost. It's a word. It's 2 words. Put them together. Insipid Ghost.
What about you, Mo? Anything you're working on? Want to plug?
I have a couple things. So I am planning to do an extra live stream of sorts. What I want to do is I want to help raise money for Nate, the Spider Jedi, the Nader Tot, as we like to call him. He's doing the extra life for the kids, to help him out through his local area. But also, me and Dev had talked about it with the boss man Don, and he said it was okay for me to do it. I wanted to raise money for a teacher scholarship fund that me and my wife started a couple years ago. So any of the money we raise, you would actually be sending directly to that college, and they put it into the fund to give money to those teachers. My goal is this year we covered 2 $500 scholarships. Next year we're covering 2 $500 scholarships. My goal is to get another $500 scholarship in for next year. So that's a third teacher that's going to have a little extra money to pay for their books, to maybe get a warm meal while they're in college. So the plan is I start streaming right after the Bears play on Thanksgiving, and I don't stop until Black Friday. That's the goal. So we're hoping we can get it done. So I'm letting you guys know that if you want to come watch me play, evidently it looks like there's going to be some Batman, okay, from start to finish, knocking it out. Hopefully we can help raise some funds to help more teachers, which is what I want to do, and help our buddy Spider Jedi with his fundraiser as well to help the kids over there in Peoria. I think I said that right. I'm prepared.
That's awesome, dude.
That is awesome.
Thanks, man.
All right. So to wrap it up here, you can find us at twitch.tv/PSVG, at PSVG on Twitter. You can visit us at our website on psvg.blog. Also at patreon.com/makeusbetter. Your money not only goes to help us, but many other talented creators all in one place. And with that, as Kevin would say, never stop gaming.